Here's a quick guide on how to set up a Path of Titans server on your own hardware in just a few simple steps. Let's get started. First, click the Start Here link. Download the Alderaan Games command tool for your machine's operating system. In this video, we'll be using the Windows version. Cut or copy the Alderaan Games command win64.exe file and navigate to where you want to set up your server's folder. This can be wherever you'd like, but for this video, we'll be creating it on the desktop. Create a new folder and name it something you'll be able to locate easily. We're going to go with Pot Server. In this folder, paste the Alderaan Games command win64.exe file. For this guide and future server configuration guides, we will be using our brand new wiki. You can find a link to this wiki in the description below. First, we're going to navigate to our server start and update.bat file. This will start the server, enable automatic updates, and allow your server to restart should it crash. Navigate to the wiki page and grab the code after the start.bat snippet. We highly recommend copying these code snippets as opposed to typing them out yourself, as any mistakes in the code will cause your server to malfunction. Navigate to your server folder and create a new text file. In this text file, paste the code you copied from the wiki. Save this file as server start and update.bat. If asked if you would like to change the file type, click yes. Inside this file, we have a few options we need to change. Let's start with your auth token. This is necessary to show your account has access to the game. Navigate to the Authentication Token wiki page and click Generate Auth Token Here link. You'll be directed to the Alderaan Games website, where you'll be asked to log in using your Alderaan Games account. Once logged in, you'll see the server hosting token screen, where you can generate a new auth token. Copy this token and replace the Your Auth Token Here between the quotations in your bat file. Make sure you leave the quotations. Next, let's set our install directory. This can be found by opening your server folder and copying the location from the File Explorer address bar. In your bat file, replace the default install directory, making sure to leave the quotation marks. For your server's GUID, we can use a random GUID generator found online. We have provided a search engine link on the wiki if you want to follow along. We're using the first generator in the search. Don't change any settings, just click Generate. Copy your new GUID and place your GUID in your bat file. For this video, we're going to be leaving the database as local, the default port as 7777. Now we need to find your device's IP address and default gateway. It's important to note that there are some possible security concerns and risks associated with forwarding ports and hosting multiplayer servers on your own personal machine. Please review the informational page on our wiki for more information about these risks by following the link in the description of this video. For Windows machines, you can do this by opening a command prompt and typing ipconfig and pressing enter. Take note of your machine's IP4 local address and the default gateway. Using your default gateway, you need to access your internet network's settings to forward your ports. As this step is largely dependent on your own network settings, we can't exactly walk you through it. We can tell you that your port forwarding should be set up as both TCUP/UDP, and the ports you should forward are 7777:7783 for the external port. Finally, set the internal IP address of the device you want to perform the port forwarding for. This is the IP4 address that you found earlier using ipconfig. Once this is done, you can close your network settings and the command prompt. Back in our bat file, we're going to add one new line of code. At the end of the echo starting server section, you're going to type server list IP, as seen here. you'll need to put your public IP4 address here, not the address you got from ipconfig. In order to find this address, you can use a website like whatsmyip.com. Once you have that, put it after the equal sign of server list IP. Finally, save your server startup and update file. I'm going to close out of these windows as we don't need them anymore. Keep the wiki open though, as we still need some more code from here. Now double-click your server start and update.bat file, and it will begin to download the necessary files in order to run your server. Depending on your machine and your internet connection, this can take some time, but shouldn't require any interaction on your part. Once you see critter stats pop up in your command log, it means your server is up and running. I'm going to close this out now because we have a few more things to cover. In our server folder, you can see now that we have a few more files and folders here. We want to navigate to the Path of Titans folder, saved, config, and finally, the folder for your operating system server, in our case, Windows Server. In this folder, we have several configuration files, but we're specifically looking for the game config file, or game.ini. Right-click and edit with Notepad. Navigate to the server configuration page of the wiki, and we're going to grab the example game.ini code. Paste this into your game.ini file and modify it as you see fit. Here we can set our server's name, what map we'll use, a password, and a bunch of other options. Experiment and see what works for your server. You can find a detailed breakdown of these settings and what they do on the wiki. Save your game.ini file once you've customized your server and run your start server and update.bat file once again. Once you see the critter stats begin to pop up in the log, it means your server is up and running and it can be accessed in-game. If it takes a long time for you to load into your server, make sure to restart the launcher, as sometimes port forwarding takes a little while to take effect. Thanks for joining us on this quick guide for setting up a Path of Titans server on your own hardware. Be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe here on YouTube for more guides coming soon.